I'm Jim Assurian, Business Development Engineer here at Reactel.
I'm Ray Hashemi, a Design Engineer at Reactel.
Well, it started 3 or 4 years ago when I realized that there were a number of filter companies in Maryland, so we needed to separate ourselves from them. Something a little bit different, something a little bit, outside the norm. Being that we're in Maryland, we love our Maryland flag more than anything. Those of us in the state, it's everywhere, right? It's on shirts and pants and shorts and hats and stickers on cars. So I decided to really lean into that hard, and I have, some Maryland flag pants that I wear to trade shows and customer visits and industry events. I have a Maryland sports coat that I wear, on alternate days on that, so I'm not wearing the same thing every single day. And I have a blog called The Maryland Filter Guy, where I write a little bit about filters, a little bit about marketing, and a little bit about things that I just find interesting. So that's where we picked up on that, and it seems to be getting some notice. I'll see people at shows, and as I'm walking, hey, I've seen you before. So it seems to have resonated, so to speak, with some members of the RF and microwave community, which is kind of nice.
You stand out.
I'm standing out.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about the history of Reactel, when it started.
Okay, so Reactel started in 1979. My father, Manny Assurian, owns and started the company after having worked for a number of years for a different filter company. Thought he could go out and try it on his own, which he did. And here we are 46-ish years later, and we're about 50 people here. We work hard. We've got really great employees. We've got great equipment. We have a great machine shop. So we're really, what we feel, one of the leaders in RF and microwave and millimeter wave filters in our industry.
Well, I actually worked at Reactel back in 1982, I think. I worked from 1982 till 1988. And at that point, I felt like I needed to, just travel a little bit and try some other things. And so I worked for some other companies, but I joined Reactel back
2004, maybe?
About 2004.
Something like that. 2003, 2004.
So many years at Reactel, but in general, essentially, outside of one summer that I was a lifeguard, filters are all I've done in my life. So nothing else but filters, but one summer of lifeguard work, and that was about it. This is what we do. We're good at it. We've done it for a long time. We are custom manufacturer. So if our customer want one filter or several hundred or thousands of filters, we'd be more than happy to do it. Typically, we don't charge any NRE, except for very customized type filters. And here we are. My opinion, probably, even though we have a lot of customers that do purchase high power filters from us, but still there are a lot of other companies that have needs for high power filters and don't know about us, because that's really one of our specialties. High power filters. We've made filters that can handle 10 kilowatts of CW power. Wow. That's a lot of power. And there are not a lot of filter companies that have those kind of abilities. Right. So between, I would say, high power filters, and the other thing that we really specialize in is band reject or notch filters that we are really good at. So if you guys out there want a high power filter or notch filter, we are it.
We're your guy. Yeah, I got into the Savannah Bananas long before they were as popular as they are now. So I'm going back, right around COVID time. And, their approach to customers. I'm sorry, Savannah Bananas are, at the time when I got into them, were a college summer wood bat baseball team that did things quite a bit differently. They've since evolved past that to more of a traveling, touring baseball team, along with There's 5 other teams, all owned by the same person, that travel the country, play in front of millions of fans, and you don't have to like baseball to enjoy a Bananas game, you just have to like fun. And they're the company, the overarching company that owns them, is called Fans First Entertainment, and that is a great description of what they are. They're extremely fans first, and what I try to take from them is their customer service and how to apply something from outside our industry to inside our industry. So getting back to people quickly, being available, those types of things that they seem to do for me when I want to buy tickets or I have a question or I go to a game, etc. I try to take that and into our industry and get it to our customers. And there's opportunities where you could work for them when they are traveling. So they've been to DC a couple times and Baltimore last year, and myself and my family have worked for them for the day, at least on the Saturdays games here that they play here in the area. And I look at that as almost like a it rejuvenates my interest in customer service. Being part of it, the things they make us do as working for them, as ticket takers or working in the merchandise tents. So I try to take that customer focus that I've experienced firsthand with them giving to their customers and try to give it to ours as well. So it's a nice little kind of like a boost, almost like going to a spa, except it's not.
So Jim, let me ask you, once you receive a RFQ from a customer, how long does it take you to respond?
By and large, it takes us, because it's not just me, it's you as well, it takes us anywhere between 3 and 4 days to answer an RFQ. Now, you're saying, well, Jim, how do you know that? It's because it's something I've been tracking for the last 4 or 5 years. So I have hard data that tells me how long it takes us to quote. And that's an average. Now, look, if somebody sends us a string of 15 filters, that's going to take much, much longer than 3 or 4 days. And if somebody sends us 1 filter, oftentimes it's that day or the next day that we get them a quote. And that's even for brand new things. As you know, I'm going to bring down some new specs that somebody has for something not a repeat order. And you're going to be able to, we'll talk about it for a few minutes, and then you're going to work up a great simulation that I can then turn into a quote with part numbers and specs and pricing and delivery and things that we're willing to sign up for that particular unit. So, by an average, it's 3 to 4 days-ish. For small quantities, it's usually just a couple. They're asking for harder filters. You can talk about the specs.
Certainly the requirement for filters have become much, much more stringent. There tougher rejections, lower insertion loss, everything has become tougher. As the airwaves becomes more and more crowded, the filter specification becomes tougher. Yeah. But, here at Reactel, we've kept that small company mentality. So, a lot of our customers like us because, when they call us and they have a question and they have a requirement, they can talk to Jim, myself, Manny, and they will get all their answers. So it's not going to go to a voicemail or God knows who. You're
going to get an engineer like that.
Yeah, you're going to get an engineer and you're going to get an intelligent answer right away. So that's one of the main things that we can offer to our customers. Tuning is an art. It takes a lot. There's a big learning curve, and most of our tuners, they've been here between 20 to some of them maybe 40 years or
except for the
longer.
new folks,
So they're really experts, and I try to design filters as precise as I can, and there's still once in a while there are questions, but these guys are so good that most of the time once they get a prototype, I don't hear back from them. They tune it, they get it done, and it's out of here. So ability of our tuner is critical to us. And we have, how many tuners do we have?
10, 12
We have about 10 or 12 technicians, and like I said, they're highly qualified with many, many years of experience.
The days of getting a 70 megahertz IF bandpass filter requirement of long since
Long
passed.
gone, yeah.
Most things we're seeing at really high frequencies or very narrow bandwidths, or things for space or high altitude or rough conditions, rough environmental conditions. So everything we get, I think, has a level of complexity that just wasn't there 20 years ago. And we've successfully evolved to that, to where, okay, we can take these extremely difficult specs, and we've probably seen something close to it, right? We're not always reinventing the wheel on things. We've got this 46-year history of delivering parts that have worked, so we can lean on some of those previous designs to leverage that pain that we went through to get it to work, to make it easier the second time around. When I'm at IMS or at another show, folks come up to me and say, hey, where's your engineering manager? Is he here today? So no, he's at lunch, or he's this, or whatever, because they're looking for him. He's very active on LinkedIn. He puts things out there that resonate with microwave engineers, and he'll put something that we're shipping that's going to go out the door, with a picture and a plot and a little write-up, and boom, next thing you know, there's 30-40 engagements, people asking them about, oh, is that like an elliptic filter, or how did you do this, or that's so small to have this performance. So I get a lot of folks looking to me to say, where's Ray? Which is great. That's what I want. I don't want to be the only guy out there, right? It's a team effort. I've worked with Ray my entire career. I've said it before, it's like if I had a brother, it'd be like working with my brother. So all of the success of the company is a shared success between Ray and myself and the assemblers and technicians and admin folks and everybody from top to bottom. It's a shared success, but really, as I said earlier, he's the engine that drives the technical side of what we do.
Jim has a really, really tough job. Dealing with customers, I know it's very difficult, but Jim's been doing this for a long, long time. He's good at it. He handles it just the way it needs to be handled. It's a customer service. We all know how difficult that can be. And plus, on top of that, there's a lot of technical know-how that Jim has. Jim is a degreed electrical engineer. Plus, he actually has hand-on experience from assembly to tuning to machining and all of it. So, he's the type of salesperson that, when he talks to the customer, he knows exactly what he's talking about. And our customers love that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you. That's very nice.
It's the truth.
Yeah, that's a great question. We're still, I don't know that we're ever going to be like 100-person company. I just don't see us there, but I see us with managed, controlled growth, with increasing resources as we need them, and working higher in frequencies, and really, we're customer driven. Somebody comes to us and needs a filter at some 65 gigahertz, there's not a lot out there, so we don't have a lot to rely on, but each individual job we get increases our knowledge base and gives us, another technique to solve some future problems. So I think we're just going to grow our library of filters that we've built for people, and grow our knowledge and learn from each new first-time build that we do, and how can we roll that into the next opportunity for somebody.
One of the things that we do here, we try to retain our talent, because in this business, experience is everything. So doing that has given us the ability to be really efficient and be able to manufacture a lot of filters with the number of people that we have, on top of having a really, really good automated machine shop and all the tools that really we need to have: good test equipment, good machine shop, good and experienced people. So we are able to do a lot with the few people that we have, but that's not going to stop us from, if somebody drops a huge order on us, that's not going to stop us from going out and hiring a bunch of people
Right,
to get
exactly
it done.
right.
You know, but I hope that happens
Yeah.
someday. But we are very efficient, and we ship a lot of products out of this small company.
I mean, we're just being pushed higher in frequency and smaller in size, and filters that we probably would have thought were close to impossible years ago are things that we're churning out left and right. Again, we're pushed by our customers. He needs small, lightweight, high power, high altitude, and we figure it out. You figure it out. You know, we figure it out.
Yeah, we see a lot of requirements for band reject filters from space companies. I'm not going to name names. We all know who they are, but just for interference bands that they need to remove, we see a lot of various requirements from them as well for band reject filters.
I would say our commitment to having great test equipment and a very complete and accurate and well outfitted machine shop. I mean, from the technical side of things, that was Manny's focus from day one, was to have better test equipment than our customers. We don't want any surprises that our customer measures something that we can't. That's always been the thing. And you've kept up our test lab, like that. You see, we increase in frequency, replace this with a better machine, and that's why we have such a very complete test lab. And from the people side, it's treating people right and getting them to stay. Ray alluded to it earlier, that we have technicians that have been with us for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, employees, assemblers, with that knowledge base, that institutional knowledge, and they wouldn't stay here if we were not treating them.
Yeah, we really
correctly.
don't have any turnovers here. People that come here, we treat them well, and we keep them here. So that's our secret.
That's the secret sauce.
Yeah, this is a learning curve in this industry is pretty long. So I'll recommend that they get their hands dirty, learn everything from bottom up, from assembly, tuning, get in the machine shop, see how things are done. Just do as much as you can, because when you design something, I mean, everybody, I can design whatever you throw at me, but the question is, can you make it? And the only if you can make it is that all the details of, from ground up. And that's what makes a good RF engineer. They have a lot of general knowledge of everything that's involved in making whatever component it is that they're making.
That's exactly right. It's the hands-on. That was my immediate thought when you asked that question. And again, we're tracking the same. You got to get your hands dirty as a new engineer. Yeah. It's not just sitting behind a computer and running things in the various software packages that all of us have. But you've got to get in there and build it and recognize, hey, wait a minute, it works on the screen, but I can't really build that. The components that it's demanding to get this response on the screen aren't available to be built, or the tolerances aren't right, or the geometry doesn't work. So you got to be able to build it to be a better designer.
I spent many years in front of a network analyzer. I don't anymore, but all that knowledge goes into what I do now. So when I design something and send it out there, I'm 99.9% sure that it can be made and it should work.
I would say that's the foundation of all of your designs, is your time on the bench as a younger engineer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because what works and what doesn't. 100%. Sure. So as the sign says, we're RF microwave, millimeter wave filters, multiplexers, multifunction assemblies to 67 gigahertz. We do cavities, comb lines, tubulars, discrete component, waveguides, suspended substrate, Am I missing anything?
Ceramics.
Sometimes it's easier to talk about what we don't do, right? We don't do saws and we don't do crystals.
Yeah.
Pretty much everything
else.
Is something that we can do. It's a shorter conversation when I say what we can't do. And we do everything in-house, as we've covered, throughout this discussion here. We do all of our own machining, all of our own assembly, all of our own testing gets done in this facility.
So the only thing that we really don't do here is plating. That's the only thing that we send out. Everything else is vertically integrated here.
Yeah, we talk about this all the time, right? It's good that we know what we know, but it's more important that we know what we don't know and we're not good at.
Yeah.
So we're going to, why would we want to risk our reputation with a good customer to do something that's off to the side of filter?
Yeah, we don't want to put our name brand on something that we're not 100% sure and good at. So if there's anything that we're not certain about, we either walk away from. And, Jim and I have discussed this a lot. Brought a requirement, and we discussed it, and we decided that no, this is not something we want to do. And what's the old saying? Man has got to know his own limitations, right? And we do know our limitation. We do what we know best.
Mm-hmm. They can visit our website. There's a form that one can fill out with filter specs, or just a contact me button that they can send that goes through the website, that all of that dumps right to me. And then I'll take it and I'll act upon it, whether it's something that I need to involve Ray in, if it's a new design, or somebody just wanted a catalog or some data sheets, or a quote on an existing, a repeat unit, we'll get it taken care of as quickly as we possibly can.
Or go old school, call or fax us.
Yeah. We still have a fax machine.